I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
A new emotion.
Oh, I'm sorry. We wanted to make such a good first impression.
What do you mean, we?
It's been almost 10 years since we last saw Riley on the big screen in the first Inside Out movie, and since then she's been enjoying hanging out with her friends, playing hockey, and spending time with her loving parents. Riley is also going to be going to a hockey camp with a few of her best friends in just a few days. Everything is going amazing. All the emotions, joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust are all getting along really well and work really well together as they try to help Riley make the best decisions for her. However, inside of Riley's mind, she begins to experience some changes as she becomes a teenager. And this change not only brings changes to how she smells in the morning, but it also adds new emotions that are going to have to get along with the emotions that we all know and love.
What do you mean, we? I'm envy. Look at your hair. Oh yeah, not happening.
This all begins to happen on the night before camp when the emotions, joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust all notice that there's a new button on the console that says puberty. Now, the emotions are really confused as to what this button does, so they kind of just ignore it, kind of throw it off to the side. But soon after the button starts flashing, we see 4 new emotions show up. These emotions are anxiety, boredom, embarrassment, and envy. These emotions have their own idea of what is best for Riley, and it doesn't match with the emotions that we all know. So there's some conflict in between the emotions, what's best for Riley and what they should do at camp. Should they get to know the cool girls or should they spend more time with their best friends? And this is going to lead to a lot of conflict. So the real question is, are these emotions going to be able to work together, or is Riley doomed to only have one set of the emotions, either the teenage emotions or the emotions from the previous film?
This is Joy, coming to you live in Riley's mind. Make some noise! Sadness is in the house!
So we're going to dive right into the ripe apples for this film. And if you remember watching the first Inside Out, which I highly recommend that you watch before you watch this film if you haven't already, but if you've watched the previous film, Inside Out, all the emotions learned at the end that they can work together to make core memories for Riley. And it doesn't have to be just one. It doesn't just have to be joy. It can be joy and sadness, or it can be joy and anger. I mean, they can work together to make good memories. However, there aren't only great memories throughout a person's life. There are also bad memories. And this film really dives deep into those bad memories because both joy and anxiety have a problem with how they deal with bad memories. In the beginning of the film, we see that joy, whenever there's a bad memory that's formed, joy kind of takes it out of all the memories are kind of in these circular containment modules, if you will. And she kind of just takes them and launches them to the back of the brain. Any bad memories she doesn't want Riley to have to remember, so she kind of just shoots them away. And we need our bad memories. And anxiety does something very similar by she populates Riley's head with memories of needing to be cool and needs to find friends, but the only way she can is if she's cool. So both anxiety and joy are trying to dictate how Riley feels by not including her bad memories or memories that they don't want her to remember. And the film really deals with the fact that you actually need those memories because they're part of who you are. They help you make better choices, avoid mistakes, and I mean, sometimes they're a good lesson teacher. So the film really touches on that in a nice and beautiful way. I really thought that was a great lesson to learn because even though we all hate our bad memories, they still have their place in helping us be either a better person or learn from that mistake. Since the last film, there's a new thing that has been developed in Riley's mind called a belief system, which is formed by a bunch of her core memories. Basically, the core memories form into a flower that kind of helps her show what kind of a beliefs that she holds. For example, these don't go into religious beliefs or anything out of the ordinary. It just goes into, I'm a good person, I'm a great friend, my parents love me, that kind of thing. And that they really touch on that a lot in this film. And it just really play into the whole plot. I think it was a very interesting add-on, not a bad add-on. Could have gone a lot more worse than it did, but it is important to know that being a good person is not enough. In life, you need to have a true relationship with Jesus Christ. But that just overall, for a secular film, it's not bad. The new emotions don't get along with the emotions from the previous film, of course. However, as the film goes on, the new emotions learn that they need the old emotions because they're causing a lot of damage to Riley. And toward the end of the film, they begin to work together. Riley kind of takes over, and whenever she wants to feel an emotion, the console will light up with that color of that person, so she can decide what emotion she wants to feel rather than the emotions deciding for her, which is kind of a moving on. As she grows up, she knows when she wants to feel sadness and when she wants to feel joy or anxiety, which is, I think, is really interesting.
You can't just bottle us up!
We are suppressed emotion!
We're going to move over to the Rotten Apples. Not really much stuff to get here, to be honest. If you go over to violent content, we see a few explosions with some dynamite. We see some emotions fight, which involves pushing each other over or throwing each other across the room. As far as it goes, there's a little bit of adult content. I mean, I don't really think you call it adult. Embarrassment kind of ducks a couple times, and you see a glimpse of his backside. And a few girls are at hockey camp, and they're wearing sports bras as they put on deodorant. You see this for like a couple seconds. Nothing really crazy there. Anxiety is addicted to coffee and energy drinks and is seen drinking them on many occasions throughout the film. It goes great with her character, but it makes her very hyper and not think clearly. Kind of a similar effect that alcohol would do, so I did notice that. And then we hear the phrase, "what the heck," a few times. Probably 2 or 3 times, but that's the only language I really picked up on this film. So we're going to get right into the hot topic that everybody's probably wondering. Is this film woke? Now, Inside Out 2 actually surprised me, and I originally wasn't going to watch this film because I've been boycotting a lot of Disney and Pixar's latest releases because they have been pushing an agenda and it just has been making bad stories. However, after looking at a couple of reviews and finding that a lot of people were saying it wasn't woke, I decided I'd go ahead and check it out for myself. And I'm very pleased to report it is not woke. I did not see anywhere in there where you would see any like woke content. Film has a really great lesson about friendship and being a good person and good friend and being obedient to your parents. I mean, really good messaging. There's a little bit of a feminist vibe at certain points with Riley. Kind of is, she really looks up to this other hockey player up to the point where she kind of idolizes her, but it doesn't get really feminist. Not enough for me to say so. It's nothing like Incredibles 2, for example. It's really just somebody that she looks up to, wants to be like one day. But overall, great lesson. It is a good sequel. It's not as good as the first movie, but I mean, it's really hard for a sequel to beat out the first movie. At the end of the day, it's a very funny film. Great for all ages. If you're a parent, you'll enjoy this film. If you have a kid, they'll enjoy this film as well. And you don't really have to worry about any messaging being in this film. So I would highly recommend that you watch this film. It seems like it's going to be a box office hit. Seems like it's a really entertaining film. I hope to see Disney and Pixar make more films like this, because if they stick to the story, they can make some really great content, and they proved it with this film. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about this film, and let me know if there's any other films that you guys would like me to review, and I will get to that. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.
Aren't packed yet?
I'm the worst! Well, that's a preview of the next 10 years.